What is a fingerprint? Fingerprints are patterns that are found on the tips of your fingers made up of skin called friction-ridged skin. Friction-ridged skin is found in the palms, the soles of the feet, as well as the fingers and toes. It is called friction-ridged skin because it helps us grip items and walk barefoot without falling. Friction-ridged skin is made up of a formation of what's called ridges and furrows, and it kind of looks like hills and valleys. So we can see in this picture here, those ridges and furrows do look pretty similar to hills and valleys. Because of this arrangement of ridges and furrows, when we touch items, we actually leave the pattern on the item. Here's a recording of a fingerprint, and it works similarly to rubber stamp if you ever used one of those in art class before. So when do your fingerprints form? They actually form before you're born, and they stay the same throughout your entire lifetime. So from the time that you're born, 10 years old, 20 years old, or even 80 years old, they would stay the same. Every fingerprint is different. So you have different fingerprints from your parents and from your siblings. Even every one of your own fingerprints is different. If you're an identical twin, you and your twin even have different fingerprints. So what do the patterns look like? There are three general types of patterns. There are loops, whorls, and arches. A loop has ridges that enter from one side of the finger, turn, and exit the same side. It also has one triangular shape in it known as a delta. Loops can enter and exit from either side of the finger, but they will always have that one triangular shape or delta in them. Whorls have a circular shape in the center, and they have two of those triangle shapes or deltas. Some whorls look like the ones we saw on the last slide, with the circle in the middle and the two deltas, but some are a little bit different. This one here is known as a central pocket whorl. It does have that circle in the center, but it actually looks similar to a lollipop because it has that stick-like ridge formation coming out of the center. This is because one of the deltas is higher up, but again we see it's got two deltas. This whorl is known as a double loop whorl. It actually has two loop formations like we talked about before where they enter and exit from the same side, but we know this is a whorl because of the two deltas that are present. This is what's known as an accidental whorl. It's a pattern that doesn't really fit in any of the other categories, and it tends to look a little bit weird, but we know it's a whorl because it has at least two deltas. The third type of pattern, arches, have ridges that enter from one side, wave up, and then exit the opposite side. There are two types of arches. The arch that we saw on the last slide is a plain arch. There's also this type of arch where the wave goes up a little bit higher and the ridges in the center tend to move upwards. It looks sort of like a tent that you would camp in, so these are known as tented arches. What type of pattern do you have? Can you look at your own fingerprints to see if you can figure out what type of patterns you might have? Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed learning about fingerprints today.